As a man, when I put myself through hell, when I have had such exacting, such stringent standards for myself, why would I then have less exacting, stringent standards on the people I meet? Why would I put myself through hell to be me and then meet someone who didn't put themselves through hell and then treat them like my equal? No, fuck you. I suffered when you didn't. So you're not my equal because you decided not to suffer. You have enjoyed comfort when I haven't, and that's fine, but don't expect me to look at you as my equal because you're not. I'll snap your fucking neck. I understand, but you have to, but there's something that's always kind of confused me. When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. The 5 people you spend the most time with, that's what you're gonna end up like. They say, yeah, that's true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, etc., etc. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever. But I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. You wouldn't want to be, if you were to come hang out with me and you were in a room with me and my 5 friends, you'd feel self-conscious.
You're right.
You don't feel if you were to come hang around with me and my crew, you would be self-conscious, and that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. If you were to get in a room and you're the only person who ain't a fucking monster, you'd want to become a monster. That's life. That's humanity. So I say this to people all the time. If you know you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, why you hang around with people you don't? And that's why I live in a competitive environment. I live with my brother, my cousin. I live with men. We have a big house. We could all afford fucking 10 houses each. We live together on purpose. If my brother does 500 push-ups, I ain't gonna be the bitch at the house. I ain't gonna not do them.
Right.
So that's another reason the war room exists. My organization, the reason it's so competitive is the reason we kick people out. You have to fight to keep.
Even if they pay, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Get out. Like,
I don't give a fuck. Get out. I'll kick them out. It doesn't matter. Everyone pays to join. You get kicked out anyway. You have to fight to keep your place. That's the whole.
Damn.
That's because that's how life was. If we were still in the animal kingdom, the lions that you see on TV, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight other animals, hyenas, jackals. They had to fight to be the boss. We're living in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter, and I'm going to tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul, and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why, because God dislikes you because you're fucking lazy. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become. Wow. God is unhappy with these people. And inside their hearts, they're unhappy. We talk about depression, anxiety, all those things you mentioned earlier on this podcast. That comes from self-loathing. You loathe your own weakness. You loathe your own laziness. This is what all of these things are. I don't feel depression. How can I feel depression when I'm the most powerful version of me that I could ever fucking be? How can I feel depression when I can squeeze my own hand hard enough to break my own bones? How can I feel depression when I've smashed and destroyed 68 people's faces in front of me, men who thought they could test me in fair combat? How can I feel depressed? It's impossible.
Speak on that.
Yeah, that's a mental trick. You have to rewire your brain. That's one of the things you have to rewire your brain to do. And the reason your brain needs to be rewired is because anyone who is watching this stream below the age of 30, your brain is already broken. And I'll tell you it's broken. I'll tell you why. Watch your friends when they're on TikTok. How long can they even focus on a video before they have to change? Half a second,
Damn.
maybe. All of your minds are broken. You can't even focus on anything anymore.
You're right.
You are constantly distracted to the point where you can't even appreciate the good things in your life. You're distracted. Your minds are broken. You need to rewire your mind and resist the slave programming.
How?
They have programmed. I'll tell you how. First thing you have to do is identify it. You have to identify what is happening to you. I use my mind to break the trap. What I do is I allow my enemy to manipulate me on purpose. And then I use my mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators. I will sit on TikTok for a day and I'll just enjoy TikTok. And by the end of the day, I'll watch myself. How quickly I'm looking to be entertained, how little time I give a video, how fucked up I am. And then I'll blink and I'll cure my fucking brain. You must allow yourself to be manipulated, and you must fix it. All of it. You just talked about not appreciating the things you have. Then blink and cure your brain. It's a conscious decision. You're letting other people control your mind.
All distraction.
The Matrix is trying to control your mind. They're very good at it. That's what they do to control all of us. You have to break the trap. If you cannot control your own mind, let me make this point because it's extremely important. If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life, because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It is trained. Like everything else in life, it is trained. So if you find yourself not appreciating what you have until it's gone, then you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to focus or concentrate on tasks, you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to go and dedicate yourself to something you don't want to do, you must blink and cure your brain. Because all of our minds have been under constant assault for years. The way the mind functions, the way people interact, has changed so significantly in the last 10 years you wouldn't believe. If you go to a party today as opposed to a party 10 years ago, they look completely different. People are acting differently. People are on their phones now than ever used to be. Even now, people will go to places only to get an Instagram picture, even if they don't enjoy the place.
Wow.
It's all about pretending they're having fun as opposed to actually having fun. The entire paradigm of society and how we interact has now changed. Every single thing in the world is attempting to influence you. I'll give you another paradigm that people need to understand. I ask people have these beliefs. Doesn't matter what their belief is. Doesn't matter, they believe in something. I say, where did you get that belief from? And they don't know. Oh, well, it's just how it's supposed to be. We're just supposed to wear a mask, whatever it is, right? Where did you get that belief? Who told you that? And does that person have your best interests at heart? Think about it. Think about all the things you truly believe. Think where you learned it, and think if that person actually gives a fuck about you. Because the only thing you should be learning from is personal experience for people who genuinely care about you and love you. Most people are out here believing things and repeating things that were told to them by people who don't even fucking like them, by their enemies. Everyone's mind is fundamentally fucked. All of it. Look at me. I'm a guy who decided to conquer social media. I blinked, I cured my brain, I used basic indefatigability, I used perspicacity, I used compendiousness, I used my mind, and I focused, and I fucking conquered the world in a few short months. It's not difficult, there's just no competition, because everybody's fucking distracted. They're getting distracted by this, distracted by that, watching fucking Netflix, jerking off to Pornhub like fucking jackasses. It's so easy to win if you can control your own mind. But it seems that nobody fucking can. And that's how the people who run the world keep the world running, because they have all the slaves exactly where they need them to be, permanently distracted and semi-depressed, working their asses off in jobs which will never satisfy them and never... Schools are designed to make you a slave. You're set up for slavery. Whole thing's a fucking scam. The education system's a scam. The judicial system's a scam. The medical system's a scam. Look at these last few years. You're living in Canada. You haven't learned that everything's a fucking scam? All of it. Oh, but don't worry. If things don't go my way, I'll get to go to court and have my say in court. Yeah, that's fair. We learned that that doesn't mean a fucking thing. The law doesn't mean a thing. Your rights don't mean a thing. It's all a fucking scam. The only hope you have is to cure your brain, see the attacks which are coming from the Matrix, get a strong network of individuals such as the War Room, and then learn how to escape. Most people are so deep inside of their programming. What did Morpheus say in The Matrix? Most people are so hopelessly dependent on the system, they will die and fight to defend it. Most people will sit here and pretend that the world they live in is just and fair because they are fucking slaves. Slave-minded. And to break the slave mind, to truly resist the programming, you have to understand what's happening to you. And this is only the beginning. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But the basic answer to everything is you must control your mind.
Wow.
if things don't go my way, I'll get to go to court and have my say in court. Yeah, that's fair. We learned that doesn't mean a fucking thing. The law doesn't mean a thing. Your rights don't mean a thing. It's all a fucking scam. The only hope you have is to cure your brain, see the attacks which are coming from the Matrix, get a strong network of individuals such as the War Room, and then learn how to escape. Most people are so deep inside of their programming. What did Morpheus say in the Matrix? Most people are so hopelessly dependent on the system, they will die and fight to defend it. Most people will sit here and pretend that the world they live in is just and fair because they are fucking slaves. Slave-minded. And to break the slave mind, to truly resist the programming, you have to understand what's happening to you. And this is only the beginning. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But the basic answer to everything is you must control your mind.
Mind control.
For the better. And you can be absolutely anything you want to be. I'll tell you something, man. If I was 21 like you, and I had your money and your influence, when I was 21, I couldn't even fucking eat. I was effectively homeless.
Jesus.
And I still managed to become a world champion kickboxer without food. If I was you with your setup right now, I could be anyone I fucking wanted. You can be king of earth. You have every single thing except for mind control. You have the last missing piece and you can conquer the planet. Yeah, I do see the potential in you. But there's potential inside of every. This is what the beautiful thing about being a man is, right? It's because being a man is difficult. It's so much harder than being a woman. Being a man is hard mode. But just like you play the video game on hard mode, when you win, you get a higher score. There is no better existence than a top tier male. Being a woman would suck. Whoa. But I don't mean that in a horrible way. I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean that there's no conquest. You don't conquer. You're born with value, and by the time you're 27, you're old, and you have some kids. Great, good. That's a woman's path. Fine. But you don't get to conquer the world.
Yeah, but
like accomplish things. But the true importance of being a woman is procreation. I'll be honest with you. Let's talk about this. A school that teaches people how to make money online with 18 modern wealth creation methods. If you have the money now, then you join the War Room. Between those two programs, I can make anybody who's prepared to work rich. I cannot make lazy people rich. I cannot make quitters rich. But I can make people who are prepared to work rich. It doesn't matter if you're in Nairobi with nothing. I can teach anyone how to make money. Anybody. It's really actually easy. I can teach anybody how to make money. But you cannot be a quitter and you cannot be lazy. So if you look in the mirror and say, I'm a dedicated, hardworking person, I'm not a quitter and I'm not lazy, then you can make money. CobraTape.com, Hustles University, or the War Room. Between those two programs, you can conquer Earth just like I have. It's not complicated. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. If you're not a quitter and if you're not lazy, if you're prepared to follow instruction, if you're prepared. But I mean, I get hate all the time. I get canceled twice a day. That's why I was joking earlier about it. 'Cause I don't give a fuck. I don't care at all. I can't explain how much it doesn't bother me.
Wait,
I find it.
Do you actually get hella? Do you actually get hella hate?
Nowadays, most people understand my genius, so not so much. But I get the odd cretin whose mind is not capable of understanding the things I say, and they're limited by the Matrix programming, and they'll come at me and say, I'm going to call you a misogynist, and you're going to have to say sorry, and they're very disappointed. But all in all, I mean the best for people. I want everyone to be successful. I want the world to be a better place, and I think the world's a better place based on the back of strong men who stand up for what they believe in. I think that's how the world's always been a better place. The Matrix programming says the opposite, but what did I say earlier about who is telling us, who is giving us these ideas, and do they care about us? They're telling us that to be a better place, all the men need to be weaklings and compassionate without any morals or without any hard lines or beliefs. And they must talk in a very, very soft way. And we need to be very, very compassionate and very, very tolerant and all these things. But if you look at history, the only times things were peaceful and nice is when strong men stood up with their swords and said, no, this is mine and this works this way and no one's going to come fuck with it. I think that masculinity and strength is what makes things beautiful. It's what preserves things. And it's what we need more of. This is what's missing from the world. All of the problems in the world today could be solved by men of honor, not doing bad things, men of honor standing up and saying, no, this is wrong. That could fix a lot.
Ease off it.
It's a good question. It's difficult, right? Because there's a lot of personal circumstances involved and it's different addictions, do different things, etc. I don't know. I can't imagine truly wanting to quit something and not being able to quit. Like I could quit cigars today. Like it wouldn't even plague my mind. Like if I wanted to quit, I'd quit. I can't imagine a mind frame or a mindset where I want to do something and can't do it.
Right.
So it's almost difficult for me to answer that question, because if you have that kind of mind, if your mind is so fundamentally broken that you cannot do with your own mind what you want to do,
right?
You know, like that, then you're just fucked. right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Enjoy, right? There's always been peasants. That's life. But I believe that the most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. It's so ridiculously easy. It's so easy to be in. People say to me, Tate, you're in good shape. All you do is drink vodka and travel the world. You're never even home. You never even have a gym. How do you do it? It's ridiculously easy if you control your mind. If I decide to do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do them. Maybe I have to do them one at a time. Maybe I'll get tired. Maybe I need a break. I'm going to do 1,000 because I said I'm going to do 1,000. It's not fucking hard. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Once you control your mind, it's easy, right? Getting over a breakup with that bitch. You miss that girl, you're upset, you miss her with all your heart, da-da-da. But once you realize she's gone, if you control your mind, she's gone now. She's gone now, gonna miss her. That's a shame. Off to the gym. You either control your mind or you don't. And all of these things stem from the same problem. It's something you can do. It's something that is learned. It's something that is taught. But it's something that I needed to survive. So for me, it's easy, right? It's all I've ever known. Right. But people have now, they don't need it to survive, so they never develop the skill. That's just how it works. At the end of World War II, when men went to Europe and saw unspeakable horrors at the end of World War II, did they all come home and need therapy, or did they all come home and get back to life?
Get back to life.
Because everyone was taught to have a mind that they control because they needed it to survive. There's no one else. That's how life worked back then. Now imagine there was a war that big. Imagine the fucking therapy, the fallout, the fucking bullshit. No one would be able to fucking even just go back in. And I'm not saying they didn't see bad things. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's fucking horrible. But that's how it works. That's life. Like, I've seen shit. Like, we've all had our trauma. You have to get through it. You either let it destroy you or let it build you.
Have you ever been in love before?
Completely. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe in men and women being in love. I believe in finding a woman and loving her with all my heart. I'm not going to let her fucking take the piss out of me. I'm not going to let her walk over my standards or my boundaries. I'm a man. I love you with all my heart. And I said you're not going to the club with your girls. I want to go. Cool. Then we're over. And I will love you while I don't see you. I might still love you a little while, but fuck you. That's the line. You overstepped the line. Goodbye. That's life. I can love a bitch and ignore her texts. Watch me. I can be head over heels in love and still ignore her ass for breaking my rules. Because I set the rules because I'm a man. It's my world. You step into my world. I don't step into your world. You step into my world. You're never going to win 100% of the time. You might love a bitch and lose her. Cool, but you might love a bitch and keep her. If I let her go to the club with her girls all the time, how long is it until she meets a new dude and cheats on me anyway? Sooner or later. You're going to lose her anyway, so why not lose her as a man, sticking to your fucking guns instead of losing her 7 months later behind your back? Just stick up for yourself.